developing the conventions, however, I noted personally that a lot of the expression is from the facial expression, but we, mostly I, wanted to develop this body language from the silhouettes of the windows, the body language mostly, to make it more obvious. Really, when I drew up the idea of having silhouettes in the windows, I knew the body language would be a key factor in explaining the characters. So I had them hunched over, and I had them pretty much tight and compact to themselves to show their hard and dangerous side. And the fact that we've accomplished that mainly from body language, we've established character and danger from body language, I think is a great development for posters and for Judicia. In Photoshop, and I also tried to make it instrumental to Tom, that we needed the background characters to be more defined through colour contrast. He wanted them to fade away, but I made a strong case to him that we needed more contrast. That was the one thing I did not want to happen. I didn't want them to have to come too close to the poster to see the detail in it. I wanted it to be more obvious than it was. That would be developing the conventions, because the posters that we saw were either incredibly subtle or very obvious, and I wanted to be somewhere in the middle, because I feel that the fan of movies has gradually changed. They're accustomed to things not being how they are, so we need to make it a little less obvious for them, and that was something I campaigned very hard for and eventually won over through debate. Now, whilst usually I go out my way to challenge conventions, we only challenged them this year out of necessity. Through my sketches for the poster, there is a convention that we challenge, in that there are 5 characters on the poster, yet only one face is shown. And I drew this in this way because I wanted to suggest that this character is alone, that Robin Ford is alone in Judicia. It's an us versus them mentality, and that's what I felt I got across in my sketch and eventually the poster. Also, the contrast of the white T-shirt against all the black. I like that personally. And when I was thinking about the poster, I never thought of contrasting white against black. It was merely a clever accident. I'm glad it happened personally, because I like the way that the white draws attention to her, and then as the tagline, because it's in the same colour, it draws attention to the name and to her, the main character. And usually it's an ensemble piece in the poster, and I like how this one was just focused on the main end. Tom actually suggested this idea, and that was to fade out the border so as to just the whole thing was a nightmare. I quite like that idea personally, and we rolled with it. And I feel that it really made the poster look like some sort of other world, and that's what I wanted Judicia to be when I was originally thinking of it. Some sort of other world that could never possibly exist, yet somehow does. And this character, Robin Ford, who is the face of normality, is in this world. She's like us in this world, confused and thinking that something's not right. We also, not many posters include this, but we felt it was very important for the promotion of our film to be successful. And as our website's diegetic, we would include this. We put the Facebook logo in the middle to lead customers to a place where they can find out more info about the film. The whole point of the poster is to sell the film, but it also, what we wanted it to do, was sell the rest of the ancillary text. Sell the name, sell Judicia. The trailer was a big thing that I set out to do, and it was something I designed and I created and I edited. And I wanted it to use a lot of the conventions, because I feel that the other trailers that I watched were all so similar and all so alike, and I wanted this one to be just like them, because those trailers were successful in getting people to watch their films, as evidenced by the box office research that I also did. And the conventions it used was, there was a lot of fading at certain points during the trailer. There's a lot of fading when there was large ominous sounds, large sounds that would signify some sort of end to life during the trailer. It would also fade out, and I like this because it gave a nice deadly, ghastly demeanour to the trailer and itself. It also didn't happen to explain a lot of plot points. It sort of kept an air of mystery by not explaining too much, but still explaining enough to get the general gist, and I wanted this to be accomplished throughout the trailer. The identity of several characters that are quickly flashed onto the screen are not shown, akin to other trailers. A big one that I thought was Signs, who quickly did a lot of characters, and Stepford Wives itself, they quickly showed a lot of characters but didn't quite explain who were, and that draws attention but also draws intrigue as to who these people are, what do they connect with this film that we barely know, and I quite like that effect. But it also heavily features the two main characters of the antagonist and protagonist in Robin Ford and Don Morris. The trailers we watched, they clearly established their hero. They hinted at their villain, and I felt that when I was editing, I only hinted that Don Morris was the villain. I never had him say any bad things. I only had him say nice things with smiling, but in a way that would hint that he's evil. Just like these other trailers, making key facts and key figures less obvious, it makes the audience want to find them out, want to come and see Judicia, want to find out about Judicia, and then go on to our viral marketing campaign. The trailer itself also had quick-paced action, and when I was choosing the official production music for it, I tried to pick music that was ominous, but also quick and fast, and would keep in with the pace of the action I wanted it to go. The pace moves briskly from one varying scene to another, along to that beat. And when I heard the song originally, as I was going through, I instantly knew this was Judicia, because it was dark, it was ominous, but it also had that beat that would keep you going, and would keep the action shots going along. The song also contained no words and a heavy fast beat, which was akin to the other trailers who had songs with no words and a very fast beat. A big thing that I picked up on when I was researching the trailers was that there was a bait and switch. Usually they present a nice world, perhaps, and then cut to the reality, the darker reality. And I had that originally when I was designing the trailer. I like the idea of some sort of breaking news, and then I created the character of Nick McCann, who would cut in to this nice world presented by the antagonist Don Morris. What he wants you to think the town is, he would just cut in and tell you the reality, and that's what I put in, and that was akin to the other trailers, which I liked. Also, we put the release date and the website at the end, which was something that the other trailers did, but it was mainly in there to draw more people towards our website and towards our poster, but to also allow them to view more information about Judicia. A convention I tried to develop more than anything was the fast actiony bits. I almost thought they went too fast. I almost got confused as to what was happening, so I slowed them down a bit. I drew out the action a bit more, adding emphasis to the acts that were actually happening. The acts such as Robin Ford being choked with that hammer. I wanted to demonstrate the danger in her face, and that can only be created through slowing down the fast bits, having an action bit every 2 beats instead of every 1, as in the other ones. I also provided a contrast between the light shots and the darker shots. I intentionally filmed in the light and in the dark, because I had the intention that I was going to combine them together to create a dystopic view of Judicia. Not a particularly nice place, not a particularly bad place, but I wanted it to be a place that caused intrigue. I also put the name of the movie 5 times in the trailer to allow it to resonate in the minds of the viewers more, instead of the occasional 1 or 2 as shown in the other trailers. I felt the uttering of the name Judicia 5 times was very good, because it allowed the name to stick in people's minds, and in the test screening that we had, the audience were getting up and telling us the name of the movie. They're telling us it was Judicia, which definitely showed that while we tweaked this convention just a little bit, it was well worth it, because the name of our movie was ingrained in their mind. To challenge the conventions, we had less title screens. You may notice we only have 2. A lot of the websites we had made reference to plot points through words, but also drew emphasis to stars, and we felt that wasn't really important to the actual film. It doesn't matter who's in it, as long as it's there, to be honest. And we felt the plot, well, I personally felt the plot could be shown just through the video. It didn't need to be spelled out for them. Tom, on the other hand, felt it needed to be spelled out for them, but I felt, with the use of the diegetic website, that we were going for a slightly clever audience than one that would need to be spelled out for them. It also has a lot more focus on the characters rather than the town. This trailer was supposed to get you attached to Robin Ford, who is going through this peril in this new town, and the name of which is brought to your attention. It's mainly about her, not about this town. It's her ordeal in this town. Moving on to the website. A big way we used the conventions was, like whysoserious.com, we made this website diegetic as well. We sort of wanted to take the unusual route, but also diegetic websites are, well, they're becoming quite the norm nowadays. I mean, whysoserious.com was merely the first public one to make use of this. We figured that we should, that we would be diegetic, but we'd be diegetic in quite an unusual way. We'd actually, it was Tom's idea mainly, and I went along with it because I felt it was quite an unusual and quite a creative idea. Why don't we promote the movie in the website of Judicia? Diegetically, the website was a council website, but it promoted the actual film we were going for, and we used this in a variety of different ways. I mean, we revealed the actors' names, playing the actual characters that are actually in the website, which I felt was a great way of using the diegetic